a 3 and a 2 and a 1, they no longer have a Bing, so I'm never sure if it's quite gone live or when it's gone live, but it says live now in a couple of places. So here we are. It's Sam and Michael and Marowen. And so, yes, shall we start with Marowen? What we usually do is we do sort of, it's like we say what we did, what we're blocked on, if anything, and then what we plan to do. So, yeah, what have you been up to?
Okay, currently I'm working on searching for volunteer opportunity, the keywords. I'm starting setting the feature with Cucumber. I reached that point. Only no blocker at the moment.
Oh, great. Yeah, and I guess you're planning to carry on working on that.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yes, great. And yeah, well, there's some things I can say about that feature. We'll maybe talk more about that at the end of the stand-up. We can go around and just check everybody. Yeah, Michael, how about yourself?
We were working on local support. We had the client meeting this morning. Sam showed the client some features. Proving Murphy's Law, things broke at the worst time. We resolved that, though. There was some kind of glitch with Heroku's pipeline. It started deploying to our production off develop. And then we were looking at fixing up a pull request by, who was it, Zamago or?
Well, it was actually Samuel Overloop's earlier pull request relating to email validations.
Yeah, we were looking to clean up a pull request that had some failing tests relating to email validations. And there came a question about what we wanted to do, how we wanted to alert the admin that they were potentially, whether we wanted to alert the admin that they were potentially accepting an org that didn't have a valid email address, which is now enforced on the organization, and or whether we should actually just go ahead and make sure that no such organizations, proposed organizations, exist, and clean them up if they do.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, and make me. I mean, for the amount of time that it. Well, I think it raises interesting questions about just the architecture of the system as well. But yes. Anyway, and you're free to carry on working now on local support.
Yes.
Yes. Good show. Yes. Well, I guess I'll add to that report saying, yeah, well, we've got one bug on. We've got some sets of bugs on the autograder that you've written up for us, Michael. Thank you very much for doing that. I guess I will I'm putting off looking. We spent 2.5 hours on Friday fixing up the autograder, so I'm gonna not immediately look at those. My key goals now are to try and get the elements that the client approved today in the local support meeting deployed, and so that's the longer range do it stuff, and also Marowen's first contribution, which is the deleting volunteer ops. And website 1, Raoul's pushed the new code to staging, so at some point, if we have time, I guess we should do an end-to-end test on there before getting ready to take the new onboarding stuff for edX live. Yeah, we're planning to pair with Michael after this, but Thomas is also here. Hello, Thomas. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How's it going, guys?
Yeah. Nothing shaking but the bacon. Yeah. Anything blocking you, Thomas?
No. I've been working on implementing some messaging functionality for Project Unify. That's making good progress. My only concern is that this gem gives us a little too much functionality. So I'm worried about future maintenance and stuff like that. So I don't really know what to do if I should. So I've noticed now after implementing Mailboxer, which is a fairly well used gem for in-app messaging that that it's a little too much for this application, because in our our primary client will be the a mobile app, and the flow, all the features that Mailboxer comes with are not, it's a little bit of an overkill for mobile applications. They use subjects. In a mobile app, you basically want some chat functionality. And here you have subjects, you have inbox, sent box, trash, untrash. There's a lot of functionality that I don't really see a need for, basically.
Right, it's a whole mail client, basically.
Yeah. So potentially we could have that functionality in the mobile client as well, but it takes a lot of work, and I don't know if we're ready to maintain that.
Sure.
So perhaps, in retrospective, I guess we could have given this a little more thought. But it's one of those things that in the process, while you implement a solution, and I'm doing a lot of request specs, and imagining how the JSON response should look like, and all of a sudden I just find myself in a place where, hey, this is way too much. I don't think I need this. So, yeah. We'll see what I do with it. If I back out, or if I just keep it as it is, but just implement parts of it on the mobile client, But it feels stupid to have functionality that is you don't use in the code. Basically, it doesn't feel right at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So your plans, right? Are you going to carry on working on that through this afternoon?
Yeah. Well, I'm on my way home, and tonight I'll be doing some work. I have some Craft Academy stuff that I need to sort out, but yeah, that's about it.
Great. All right. Well, I think we're at the end of the stand-up there. I just was going to, so Marouane, you were talking about that, the feature for local support. I was just going to note here, if we go in, that, so this is the feature, right? The one being able to search volunteer ops?
Yeah, sure. This is the feature.
Yeah. So if you've actually started on it, you might want to click the start button.
Okay. I forgot about it.
Yeah, just no worries. I mean, it's an interesting thing. Actually, I was reflecting. One of the things that Pivotal, once you're in there, it allows people to sort of like take ownership of a story, which is something. Well, there's a whole other conversation that we have about that at some point across different projects, but maybe we won't do that now. I guess what I was going to say was, you were mentioning keyword there. I guess when we say keywords. Don't feel that necessarily means that it has to be, there need to be ways to associate keywords with the different volunteer ops. I mean, in the first instance, it's just being able to do a search on text that appears in the title and description is the sort of the first pass, and we can look at categories and keywords and other things like that. Let's leave that all to the future. Let's just keep it as simple as possible in the first pass. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. That's great. On that note, actually, we do have two stories here on local support that we might just try and do a quick vote on, if anybody wants to stick around for that. There's one here. We've got removing volops from our server. If they go off to do it. We've got Mike is here as well. Yeah, hey Mike, how are you doing?
Hey, good.
Oh, good to see you. We're just going to do a couple of votes here, and maybe we'll. Well, I guess anything to report from your side?
Oh, no, I need to go rethink how I was doing the time zone stuff.
Yeah.
We're going to add that into the model now. Are you guys, just, if I can ask a quick question,
Sure.
Are you guys done mucking with the event? Or are you guys still messing with that?
More or less. I think we've kind of got everything in to develop. I think with the exception of, was there one outstanding thing? We've got this. No, I think it's been pulled in. That's website 1, displaying long nicknames. Yeah, everything's in. I think, and we will. It's going to be probably stable for a little while we kind of take stock and look at other stuff. And Michael and I are working on local support today. So, yeah.
Okay, just because that's going to involve changing the model and stuff. It'd be difficult to have more than one person working with events.
Yeah, we'll hopefully be leaving that alone for a little while, unless we So go knock yourself out.
Okay, I'll pull in a new development.
Cool. So I'll just go in here for this. We're just going to vote on this story for local support. So as an admin, so that users are not confused by outdated volunteer opportunities from third-party services like Do It, I would like any what are they called, VOLOPs that are removed from Do It to also be removed from our system. But this is something that we discussed with the client today, and she was saying actually it's kind of pretty high priority now that we have the new functionality in place. I think Michael's fairly clear on this. Marouane, Mike, or Thomas, any explanation needed of what this is about or what it involves? Assuming you want to participate in the vote.
I'm cool.
I don't know that I could estimate that. I don't know enough about it.
No, well, don't worry. I mean, and Michael and I think we have a particular proposed solution. But so we have this is the volunteer opportunities, and we have our own ones that are added directly to the system. We have some that are pulled in from a third-party site through an API, and basically we're going to have a task which is already written that runs every 24 hours at midnight and pulls in the latest items. And basically, the plan that Michael and I have is that when it pulls those in, that basically it will delete the existing ones and it'll reload them. So anything that doesn't appear when the task is rerun will get deleted, and there'll be the new ones added. So that's basically our solution for it, is to modify the task.
Okay.
So the one wrinkle that there is that we have this system ordered by how recently things have been updated. So we kind of want to hack up the updated thing in our Rails database to reflect when the third party is saying these things are updated. But there we go. But most relevant, I think, is for Marouane, who's working on local support. Does this make sense to you, Marouane?
Honestly, just I'm not really sure how Dot is integrated on local support project. Just I have to check the implementation just to get some idea.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we can potentially very, very briefly look at some of the.
Okay.
I mean, part of the participation in the vote is it's like it doesn't matter too much. It's just like we're kind of all sort of guessing what we will think it would be, and we're doing that. So we've got the little. This is the task. Oops! No, don't move that. No, don't move things around. Anyway, this is the task. We've got import to it opportunities. Within a certain mile radius, and then we have this little service that does this. That basically goes out to the API, grabs the data, and then creates a little model there and sticks it in. So it's a relatively simple service, and so we would be changing this in principle to delete the opportunities first, and then recreate them and sort of set their updated data. So
okay.
People are feel free not to vote if you feel nervous about it. But it's all just about kind of having fun, really. We'll just go into local support. So, and the way we do this, if we're in a local support channel, I'll put the voting on that story. So our rule of thumb is, 1 point for sort of a trivial change, 2 if it involves, playing with the database, potentially changes the database or new gems, and 3 if it's, looks like it's sort of sticky. So should we have a go for voting on this? So what we do is if you type a number, 1, 2, or 3, into the local support forum, and then so you press return, you get your typed in number, and then I'm going to do a countdown with a 3 and a 2 and a 1, and then I'll say go, and we'll all vote together simultaneously. So 3, 2, 1, go. So we've gone there. We've got 3 of us with the 2s, Marouane with the 3, and Mike with the 1. Now, I guess Mike and Maro, what we would often do in this situation is we'd ask Mike and Marowen to sort of explain why they thought it was simpler or harder. Of course, I'll let you off that if you just say I'm just not sure. But Mike, do you want to give your reasoning behind the 1 point?
I didn't. Well, from what you showed me, it didn't look like there was anything complicated in there. You're already going through and doing it every time. So just all you have to do is delete. It's essentially 1 or 2 lines to simply delete what's there already.
Yeah.
You do the import, but there may be a lot more complications that I'm not aware of.
Well, I think the only thing that I'm if it's just the deletion by itself, then I would say that that's going to be a 1. The thing that concerns me is this process of trying to set the kind of configure the Rails active records updated times and how easily we can do that. And fingers crossed, that's going to be really smooth. But I just anticipate, as these things often are, they're more complicated than one imagines. So that was that,
Oh, you mean override the?
Yeah,
I imagine there's a way to override the update.
Yeah, I mean,
easily.
You just pass in updated at.
I mean, one imagine that we would just do this. Hopefully, it will just work like that. But I guess I'm just erring on the side of caution. But yeah, I mean, Thomas and Michael, you were both thinking 2 as well. Why were you thinking of a 2?
For me, it just seemed pretty straightforward, but also not too trivial, basically. So I just gave it a 2 as a middle.
Yeah, I think Thomas, you're being conservative in the way that we've learned over many painful years about these things, aren't you? Yeah, and Marowen, I guess you're giving it a 3 because it's an unfamiliar area.
Yeah, sure, because I'm familiar, and especially with the challenge, we'll update the flag normally.
That's right. It's normally done automatically. So I think we can probably agree to compromise on a 2 there, and obviously Michael and I will implement it, and we'll come back to you and let you know if it was more or less complicated. So that's that there, and then we've got now this one. If people have got the appetite for just quickly voting on this one, so this is now a sort of a follow-up feature. So as an admin, so that organizations that are, I guess again, it's the same reason actually. So this is so that users are not confused by outdated volunteer opportunities. One of the things that's been observed is that sometimes there are still opportunities on the third-party service where our admins know that they know that the organization has ceased to exist. So I want to be able to delete individual ops or groups of ops by organization. So this would be like a sort of a follow-up feature whereby even if the opportunity is still existing on the Do It site, so it's still being pulled in, that our admin could say, oh, I know that this volunteer group is not operating anymore, so it just shouldn't appear in our system. Does that functionality make sense?
Yes.
And so this would I haven't really even thought about how we would necessarily do this. I guess we would need to add to the admin interface to allow. I mean, at the moment, do we even have an admin interface for the system here? Let's have a look here. If I log in like this.
Yeah, we do.
We have an app. Oh dear. Ooh. That doesn't look good, does it? What's happened there? That's on a login, and it's done a search. Let's just capture the error log on that. It's a day for errors on local support, I'll tell you. Heroku logs -t n1500 minus our production. We'll capture that. But anyway, so the admin, we have admin interface, but we don't have any. There's no part of our admin interface related to volunteering opportunities, is there, Michael?
I don't think so.
No. So I think this would involve the creation of a new admin screen, and then the ability to, sort of somehow annotate a filter that, like certain organizations, things would not appear. Yes, so I think definitely, and we'd need to be able to store that information, so that would mean storing that into the database and basically allowing the admin a screen to do that. So do people feel ready to vote on this one?
I am.
Any questions from Marouane or Mike?
No, it's okay.
Yeah. So, yes. So let's see if we get ready and we type our number in. And I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, go. Yes. And so we've all gone for a 3. Now, because Marouane, you've jumped back the other direction there.
Yeah.
This one actually seemed a bit easier, a bit more straightforward, did it, to you than the previous one?
Yeah, for me it seems easier.
Interesting. Yes. I mean, I think that the yeah. I mean, I think that the for the previous one, even if it ends up being a little bit tricky to update the updated app. I'm sure it's something we could do within the course of a couple of hours, maybe 3. I mean, 4 tops, I would say, if that. I mean, if we're very lucky, we can do it all in half an hour. Whereas this one here, I think, being able to override the do it ops. I mean, we do have existing admin screens, so we could do one like this for volunteer ops, although the code there is somewhat gnarly. But then there's the user interface flow, and then there'll be like need to be a new database table where we kind of like store things about this, that, or the other. So yeah.
You'll have to remember which ones have been deleted so you don't re-add them.
Yeah, and so on, and it's got to interact with this. This process has then got to like check what the organization is, and then so it involves coordinating changes in a number of places in the code. So that's why it seems more complicated to me. What do you think, Marouane?
No, it keeps clear for me. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can compromise on a 3 there, and we'll see if it turns out to be more or less complicated than we imagine. Okay, so that's all that done. So is anybody else blocked on anything, or do we need to coordinate anything else? If not, then probably we'll take a little break there. Or I mean, I'll go straight. I'm going to set up another Hangout for Michael. We'll start working on various local support bits and pieces. Yeah. And Marouane, just shout out if you've got stuck on anything, or feel free to come and observe Michael and I, working. Or there'll be a video of it if you want to watch it later on. Yeah. Cool. And Mike, you're all right for the moment?
Yep, all right for the moment. I'll probably want to set up a Hangout at some point this week.
Cool. Yeah, we'll look like.
I mean, I can implement the actual code to do it, but I'm probably going to need some assistance with
testing,
setting up the test framework around it, because I don't think it's going to be simple.
Okay, sure. Yeah, well, I'm off on Friday and next week, but yeah, through to Thursday I'll be around, so just let us know.
Okay, sounds good.
Cool. All right, thanks, guys. Good to meet you, Marouane. Bye for now.
Yeah, bye.